what's up everyone? Welcome to another review, and this time I am taking a look at The Collection, which is a sequel to one of my favorite underrated horror movies of the last couple of years, The Collector. So we got introduced to the collector himself, now we're getting introduced to his collection. Now you're probably going collecting, what does he collect? Butterflies? Marshmallows? Necklaces? No. I don't know why those three things came to my mind. No, he collects something else, but I'm not going to tell you until I get to the story, which I will right now. So, the story. The story for The Collection takes place maybe a month or two after The Collector, because they make it feel like a little bit of time has passed, but not too much. So I'm going to say maybe a couple months. And in this story, we follow a new character named Elena, who is I guess a teenage girl, maybe in her early 20s, I'm not really sure, who just got blew off by her boyfriend. She's all like, oh man, I can't hang out with my boyfriend. Then her friend calls and says, hey girl, let's go to a dance club and have fun. And she's all like, totally. They go to the dance club and they have to give the secret password to get in there. And then, you know, they have a good time. They start dancing, blah, blah, blah. Elena finds that her boyfriend is actually there making out with someone else, and she gets pissed, punches him in the face, and then she runs off to sulk and stuff. But then she goes into this room and finds this big chest, and she's like, what the hell? And then she hears something like rumbling inside, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna open it, because that's what white people do. And she opens it, and then poof! Josh Stewart from the first movie pops out, who of course plays Arkin from the first movie. He's like, he's all crazy and stuff. He's like, he didn't really freak out like that, but when she lets him out of that container, he's like, why did you do that? That was a bad idea. And then it just triggers this huge trap in the middle of this dance floor, and this big lawnmower type blade just comes out of nowhere, and then everybody dies in an awesome, gory, bloody as all hell scene. It goes by a little quickly, you know, it could have went a little slower, you know, just make me savor it. Kind of creepy, but you know, it goes a little too quickly, but everybody dies and Arkin gets the hell out of there. Elena is the only one who survives, and she gets taken by the collector, and Arkin gets the hell out of there by jumping out of a window and says, fuck this place, I'm out. Whee! He is rushed to the hospital where he doesn't get to rest for way too long because a bunch of dudes come in and say, alright, the girl you left behind is very important. The father really wants her back. I'm the bodyguard. I was supposed to be protecting her. I screwed up. I really care for her. You, me, and a bunch of other dudes, we're going to go and track this dude, go into wherever the hell he's hiding, and we're going to go kill him. You know where he is because you were trapped by him. You should know how to get there. And of course, Arkin does, and he agrees to take him there, but he's not going to go into the place. The thing is, they force him to go into the place, so Arkin is now forced to go into this big hotel, not motel, motels aren't really that big, but a hotel where the collector is staying, and they have to go and get her back because everybody cares for her except Arkin, because Arkin just wants to, he doesn't care, he just wants to live, and he doesn't want to go in this collector place anymore, and really that's the story. Here is very simple, but the thing is, I actually really enjoyed it because it just felt like, as I've read from many reviews, a haunted house movie where it was just going through, a bunch of crazy stuff happens, a trap here, people die, you're like, ooh, and it was a lot of fun in that way. And also, it actually reminded me a lot of Saw 2, where in the beginning of Saw 2, they all have to go and track down Jigsaw, the main villain of that series, and they go into this big warehouse where there's traps everywhere, this whole SWAT team's getting murdered here and there, and it felt like that, except it was a movie, not like a 5-minute sequence. And I actually really enjoyed that part of Saw 2, so it was really cool to see like pretty much a whole movie of that here. And I really liked it. I really liked the characters. Josh Stewart as Arkin is great once again. I loved him in the first movie. I thought he was a great main character, and I'm glad they kept him for the sequel. I liked Emma Fitzpatrick as I keep saying Elena, and I thought she was really good in the film. I really liked her, even though I had this weird feeling that they didn't give her much to do. Like, I mean, she does a lot in the film, but the reason why it felt like that is because she never really talks in the film. She talks, but not too much, so I don't know, it felt like she just didn't have much to do, but she's good for the most part. I can't remember the guy who plays the bodyguard. It's killing me. I should have looked it up, but he did a really good job here. I think his name is Lacello in the film, and he did a really good job here. Christopher McDonald, who plays the father of the girl everybody has to go get, he's really good in the film, even though he's barely in it. Everybody else does a great job as well. Everybody is good, as acting-wise is really good. Some of the characters are a little forgettable, mostly the people that get killed off just to have a body count, you know, those people, I didn't really care for them, but the main ones, Josh Arkin, not Josh Arkin, Arkin, Elena, Jesus, and Lucello, and even the father, I actually care for those people. And the Collector himself is a badass villain, I think. He's really cool. Every time you see him, he's menacing. And there's a whole part where he just busts the door down with a freaking gun and 2 dogs right next to him. It looked badass. I was like, damn, that dude, don't screw him. He is a badass, and I thought he was a great villain, and I think for most part the characters, the main ones, are really likable. So overall, I think the acting, I think the story, and I think the characters, and just, you know, the story itself is just fun with good acting and some likable characters. So there you go. I'm not gonna lie to you people, even though I really enjoyed the story, I thought the characters were likable, and I thought the acting was really good, it is still a stupid as hell movie, and some people are going to consider it a bad one. Now, if you're going into this expecting a movie with a lot of blood, a good atmosphere, and a really cool villain with some creepy scenes and some gory scenes, oh god, then you're going to get that. It's a very fun movie because of that. I thought the blood effects, some of the gore effects, oh god, it was so gross. And there's one part, actually there's a couple of parts, but there's this whole area where you see just creations of the Collector where he takes body parts of different people that he killed and just makes other things out of them, and oh, it was so gross. It was like, oh god, there's this whole torso that's just made out of like the hips, it looks like. It's like, what the fuck? It was gross. It really was. And it's some really cool designs when you get to parts like that. I thought it was very disturbing. I thought the main character, Arkin, was very likable. I thought the villain was very, very good. The Collector is a great villain. I would love to see him in more movies. And overall, I just thought it was a very fun movie. Was it good? Not really, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm going to give it a good score because I had a lot of fun. I knew what to expect, even though the movie is extremely short, and they could have gave us some more likable characters besides the couple that they did. And most of the characters that were in the film were just body counts. They were just there to get killed so you could go, ooh, blood. And I did. I went, ooh, blood, but I would have been like, ooh, blood. But I would have liked that character to be more developed before I went and gone, ooh, blood. So yeah, I really enjoyed the film, even though it is stupid. I'm going to give it a 29 out of 40. There you go. There's my review for The Collection. Thank you, and goodbye.